You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It's your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge, where we always toast to growth, y'all. So again, I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for still being very supportive of my channel. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit the like button. And for all of you in the chat, to Mocha's Mod Squad, thank you for holding it down with the wrenches. And if you like today's sermon, if you like what's going on at the lounge, go ahead and join the family. Subscribe. I recommend you do that because I do have my own business. So because of that, I cannot set a specific date of the week anymore. I tried doing that and every time I did, I was not consistent. So it's better for you to just be subscribed. That way, no matter whenever I upload, you'll get the notification and then you'll just be able to just join from there. So that's just the way I have to do things in order to keep the vibe consistent. So I appreciate y'all understanding that it is not easy being a boss. Okay. So nevertheless, y'all, I thought it was imperative that I did an unhinged series on this because one of my subscribers, y'all did mention this to me. I can't remember which one of you did, but ironically, I had already kind of covered this on my Cafe de Paris channel with the guys, basically giving them a message in which they need to be careful and mindful of, some women who can become very obsessive to the point in which they think they actually own a man and no one else is supposed to have any dealings with that man. But nevertheless, this is where I also felt this was a teaching moment for my ladies as well through my Unhinged Crime series, in which this wonderful young lady by the name of Miss, I'm gonna try not to butcher the girl name, Sakenya, Sakenya Thompson, 31-year-old y'all from New York, honey. Her life has been forever, ever changed, honey. So she basically made the decision to fly all the way out to Tamarick, Florida from New York now to unalive Kayla Hodgson, whom is the new girlfriend that her man decided to dump her for, okay? So basically the motive was jealousy, stemming from her ex-boyfriend relationship with Kayla, and whom was the new female, the new girlfriend in which he was developing a new relationship with, right? So anyway, y'all, it's a lot that ties into this story, and it's very, very disheartening because it just really goes to show you that you have so many women who walk around with this confidence through their MAC makeup, through their lace fronts, through their manicure and pedicure, and these expensive pocketbooks and design labels, and underneath all of that is a woman with a lot of insecurity. And Sakenya, Miss Thompson, is definitely a prime example of when a woman has definitely no self-worth, no self-confidence, and definitely no self-integrity. So let me give y'all some of my scriptures. Of course, that's going to go into the Unhinged series because, it's very necessary that when we do cover these topics, we also have to address these topics with scriptures that already pretty much has prepared us and given us insight on these type of situations, which is the very reason we should be avoiding them as much as possible. But let's start from Proverbs, y'all. Chapter 14, verse 30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. In other words, envy doesn't just rot your peace, it rots your purpose. So basically, once you get into a situation in which you love a man more than you love yourself, basically what you're doing, you're robbing yourself of your purpose, because there's so much more God has in store for you that he wants you to do with your life. There's so much he has instilled in you for you to fulfill. And once you have decided to destroy your purpose just because you love a man who does not have that same love for you, then what happens is not only you destroy your purpose, you destroy your peace. And that's exactly what she did. And of course, we're going to go more into how she destroyed her purpose, because when I tell you, this young lady had a lot of things going for her. And she definitely could have elevated had she not made this man a priority. Okay. And this is the dust bed bug right here in the thumbnail, y'all. Like I said, he's not even, but he's not even great value brand. Okay. He's just below the barrel. But anyway, let's get back into the sermons, right? So I don't lose touch of that. James chapter 1, verse 20. Because human anger does not produce the righteous that God desires. Okay. In other words, anger might feel justified, but it never leads to peace. So you got every right to be angry and upset, but nevertheless, you are responsible for your own actions. And I preach and teach this all the time to the participants in my class that listen, you can do whatever you want to do, right? You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be pissed off, but whatever your emotions are, you are still responsible for your actions behind those emotions. You still have to take accountability for how you respond. So you can be angry, upset, pissed off, jealous. You can be all of that. Nevertheless, you are not allowed to react and respond the way you choose to. And that is where we fall short. And that is where we go wrong as women. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 31 through 32. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. In other words, y'all, forgiveness is not about freeing a man, it's about freeing yourself from emotional prison. Listen, it comes a point where you have to accept the fact that sometimes we just have to take an L. You feel me? You could very well have put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort into trying to build something with a man who you truly love. But if he is not on the same page as you, if he is not as determined as you to try to fight for the relationship or fight for the marriage, then it comes a point where you have to accept the reality and stop trying to enforce this fantasy of what you was hoping it to become, and accept the reality of what it truly is. And I think that is one of the main kryptonites that has made a lot of women ultimately meet the demise of their freedom and their life, due to the fact that they just meant in their mind, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this relationship um be great, even though I know it's destroying me, even though I know it's embarrassing me. I'm going to keep making this marriage. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to keep praying on it, knowing that God is showing you all the red flags that, look, this ain't it, sis. This ain't it, daughter. I'm showing you the man, you done caught him cheating multiple times. It wasn't like one time and he learned from it and he's trying to grow. I'm showing you all the text messages. I'm showing you, all the emails. And the red flags are just so blatantly in your face. And you just mean you're going to make this man become something he does not want to be for you. Okay. So let's get into this main issue at hand. So we got to start off with the word now. We have to do the word, okay? So I wanted to definitely talk about this, y'all, because nothing is more um of a woman's downfall than being male centered. And let me explain to you by that. When a woman is male centered, meaning uh she can only create a world for herself when she has a man in it. And those are the worst type of females to be around. And to be honest with you, I don't deal with women that are overly infatuated with their men. Okay. I don't get any pleasure or joy out of having friendship with a woman who constantly brags on a man, with a woman who feels like her man is the only thing that exists in this world. She talks about her man more than she talks about God. She talks about her man more than she talks about herself. She talks about her man more than she talks about her future. Anytime you're dealing with a woman that is very male centered, she's very, very dangerous. And not only that, women who have this type of mindset, the male centered females, they don't keep friends long. Okay. Because when they go through a rough space with their man, their whole energy changes. Some of you women may know somebody like this. Maybe you had a friend like this and you had to cut off. Hell, you may even have a sister in your family, a female cousin. You may even, your mom, you know what I mean? You'd be surprised. It's women who we truly care about and genuinely wish the best for, that we really can't have a healthy relationship with them because they're too male centered. Their world is about their man. Every day they want to talk about their man. Every day it's they want to brag about their man. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay once in a while to share some things, and to kind of be open with some of the things that you and your man share together. I think it's awesome sometimes, but in some instances some women go overboard with that. And the problem is the problem with male centered women is when that man lets them down and disappoints them, baby, they are hell on wheels. Okay. They start taking their frustrations out on other people who have absolutely nothing to do with what that ninja is taking them through. You have some women, once a man disappoints them, they totally lose focus. They don't want to work. They don't want to take care of their children. They don't want to go to school. You have some women, once they lose a man, they lose their whole identity. They lose being ambitious. They lose their determination. I mean, in many instances, if a woman has some type of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, even if a man fails her, she still realizes, okay, I still have to stay focused. I got to take care of my kids. I still got to work. I still got to go maintain my business. Every woman does not have that gift. Some women, they completely derail. I honestly, I'll tell y'all something. I had a female friend that was like that. As long as she didn't have a man, she handled her business. Okay. She kept her car up, kept her apartment up, kept her furniture up. She was always on her A game as long as she was by herself. The moment she got involved in a relationship with a ninja, girl, listen, when I say she would totally just abandon everything about herself, she would do it. Um, She wasn't keeping up with her bills hardly. She didn't have time for her kids hardly. And every time this ninja would come back around, she would totally lose focus. Now, when he was gone, she would be on her A game. She would be very attentive to her children. She would work. She would keep up with everything, make sure her bills, everything was in alignment. Her energy was just so different when she was by herself. But something about when the presence of a man, just the presence of some testosterone around her, it just would make her so different to the point she was annoying and made you not even want to be bothered with her. And I honestly, I don't deal with those my man bras. I don't deal with you. If you always on your man's jock strap, I don't want no parts of you, okay? Because you're the kind of person, as soon as your king disappoints you or you find out he's cheating on you, you know what I'm saying? You want me to be on the phone with you for 9 hours while you cry to me about this joker, and as soon as he come back and dick you up and down and take you out to Denny's for some pancakes and sausage, then I don't hear from you for a month. Listen, I don't have my share of female friendships, honey, and that is just why I roll solo. So let's get into this, right? It's imperative that we talk about this because I want to start giving all of you ladies emotional awareness. You know what I mean? And street smarts in order for you to survive these type of dynamics, right? So the whole objective is we have to I aim to be educational, empowering, and I need y'all to really sip on this message and really take in what I'm saying, right? So let's talk about this, right? A woman thought she had moved. Okay, I'm sorry. My notes, I had them wrong. Okay, but I got y'all. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that when women have a hard time moving on, okay? Um Thinking that you still have ownership in your mind. And to only find out, you know what I mean, that through all of everything you've sacrificed, you find out towards the end that this man was not near as invested as you were. Okay. Now, this is a very heavy conversation, but it's definitely necessary, right? Because it's imperative that we understand emotional instability, obsession, comparison culture, and unchecked rage is disguised as love. So, this is a teachable moment, right? For women who let emotion, social media, and rivalry drive them to destruction. Okay, so let's first show you the clips, right? I may pause and interject. It all kind of depends, or I may just let it flow through the whole time and then come back with my commentary. But let's go ahead and play the clip because I want y'all to understand the story and why it's important that we have a message on this very night, right? So let me go ahead and do that first. And then, of course, we are going to get into talking about it, y'all. So let's get it going.
Now look at Terry, the dude she did all this for. Look at the dude, child. Hold on, they about to show him. Now come on now, you going to jail the rest of your life for Terry? Fuck no. Terry ain't even all that. You act like a nigga was Morris Chestnut, and I don't give a fuck if it was Morris Chestnut. You spend the rest of your life in jail behind a man.
On NBC6, the trial of a woman accused of plotting to kill her romantic rival in Tamarack is happening right now. 31-year-old Sakina Thompson is charged with the 2022 murder of Kayla Hodgson. Let me take you back. Broward Sheriff's investigators say that Thompson flew down from New York days before the murder with the intent of killing Hodgson. Detectives say the two women were dating the same men. Well, Hodgson was found stabbed to death in her village apartment home in Tamarack.
Okay, y'all. So I want to pause on that. So if you heard clearly, Sakina actually took a flight, okay, to go meet her former ex-boyfriend, significant other. Now, if y'all really think psychologically about this, that takes a lot of time and effort into booking a flight. First of all, you had to look into the situation. Um, you had to do your research. You 9 times out of 10, she's probably been in this woman's Instagram, and allegedly, and I've checked several sources, she did reach out to Kayla once it was brought to her attention that her man was dealing with her. So she reached out and DM'd the girl, and of course, Kayla had disregarded the DMs because she didn't want no drama, which that's the womanly thing to do. If a female is reaching out to you about her man, ain't nobody got time to be going back and forth trying to, you know what I mean, getting yourself involved in that. You know, this is where you need to check your old man and be like, hey, I don't know what's going on with you and your girl, but if y'all are not together no more, you need to go ahead and handle that because she's DMing me. Or what Sakina should have been doing was dealing with her man, but come to think of it, she couldn't deal with him because at the time they was not even together. So she just was asphyxiated on the fact that she was not going to leave this man. But that's what she did. She put a lot of time and effort into booking a flight so she can fly from New York to Florida to go confront this woman, which in actuality, if I was other woman, whatever questions that I may want to answer for you, I'll do that over the phone. I'm not going to meet you at my personal residence, but some of these women come off charming and cunning, like, you know, I would like to speak with you about what's going on with me, with you, and Daryl, whatever the case is, I don't want no trouble. I ain't trying to bring no smoke to you. She probably came off very charming, like she wasn't on that type of level. So for the girl to feel comfortable to give her address, for her to be willing to let her take a flight so she come visit her, I think that Sakania probably put up this front like she just wanted to discuss this like a woman to woman type thing, and it went totally left when she actually went to that woman's residence. But we'll continue. And sure y'all hit the like button, by the way, if you're just coming in.
Prosecuting and defense attorneys just wrapped up their opening statements minutes ago.
Kayla's body will not only tell you the details of her brutal attack, but her body will tell you who did it. Because there was something that the defendant could not clean up and take with her, and that was the DNA of the defendant that was under one of Kayla's fingernails.
She was afraid to call the police. Why would they believe her? She panicked. She did not go there for this. She went there to have a woman-to-woman conversation about where their relationship stood.
And the trial is expected to last several days. Thompson faces the possibility of the death penalty if she is found guilty.
Was adjudicated guilty by a jury. Ma'am is going to be going up the road. They are working on the sentencing date. Ma'am's been found guilty. Okay. Make sure to like this live. I will see you guys later. And if you're just now coming in, scroll back, hit the thumbs up, share me out. I appreciate y'all supporting this channel, and I will see you guys.
A jury found 𝓜𝓸 Thompson guilty of killing 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson in 2022. Prosecutors argue.
Okay, this is where I expand it, blow it up a little bit, and go back. Okay, so it should play momentarily. All right, let me move this up. Okay, I wonder why it's not playing. That's strange.
At her Tamarack apartment, confronted her about the two of them dating the same man, and then stabbed her to death. Hodgson's family cried tears of joy in the courtroom Tuesday.
So she did actually end up getting charged,
Kayla
y'all.
Hodgson was a beautiful, bright, and sweet young lady who was trying to enjoy her life.
Okay, y'all. So this right here is just a quick documentary, a quick rundown of the personalities of both of these ladies, so you can kind of get a better sense as to what the both of them were like before it even got to this point. So that is the purpose of this documentary here. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And also work at the same time. Kayla worked with a bartending company as a bartender for private events. She was a hard worker and really loved by her colleagues. Kayla is also popular on the night scene. She enjoys herself with her friends. She parties and does enjoy Florida nightlife. Kayla would cross paths with another young lady called 𝓜𝓸 Thompson, who is 28 years old. 𝓜𝓸 is a very popular nail technician in Long Island, New York.
Show you, then show your...
All right, y'all. I just want to kind of interject right quick. So as y'all can see, both of these young ladies had something going for themselves, okay? Before Shakina allowed this bed bug to basically get her to this point emotionally in which she basically had ruined her whole future. This girl was badass with her nails, okay? You know how much money she could have been making, okay? She could have became an entrepreneur. I mean, nails, that's the end thing. A lot of these women are into beauty. They into the lashes. They into getting their nails done. So she could have really been going some major places had she not allowed her emotions for this for this Dusty to get her to this point in which she wanted to unalive another female over him. Kayla, on the other hand, very beautiful, very gorgeous. I'm sure when Sakina saw how beautiful Kayla was, that really, really infuriated her. She was beautiful as well. Also a bartender making tips. I mean, these women had so much going for them. And she threw all of that away for a man who already has moved on, for what I've been told. I checked several sources. So while she's doing life from prison, he's already out here dealing with other women. Okay, so your purpose of taking this other woman's life, it did not stop him from still seeing someone else. So would you have taken her life too had you not ended up doing life your damn self? But we'll continue.
She is really known to be good at what she does. Sakina outside of work is also known to be a feisty person.
You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right?
She acts it on social media too.
I still got one bitch, I'm gonna smack the wig off. And then I'm gonna change.
She usually shows how tough she can be. Sakina was in a relationship with someone named Terry. It was a turbulent and very toxic relationship. They stay cussing at each other, going back at each other, but end up back together. She posts pictures of them doing all sort of thing together, from sleeping next to each other to her receiving gifts from him on her birthday.
So let me also say this. I did check her Instagram before it went wherever it went at. She was very, very overly obsessed with this low common denominator. Okay. She was very obsessed with him. She had so many pictures of him sleeping, pictures of him eating a sandwich, had pictures of him tying his shoes. I mean, anytime you have a woman that overly infatuated with a man, where she has to highlight everything he does. I mean, if he blows his nose, you post a picture of that. If he takes the trash out, you post a picture of that. It's past. It's past just, you know, clout chasing. It's an obsession, if you ask me. She was really, really obsessed with this man, okay? She was obsessed with this midget. I don't know what it was about him, but she was really, really overly infatuated with this guy. But we'll continue.
In this video, it reads, "How my boyfriend sleeps when he finally found his soul."
Girl, now I wanted y'all, let me back that up. This is, hold on. I want y'all to see. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it like this.
In this video, it reads, "How my..."
See, a straight clown. Straight clown. And now I can put together why that relationship was so toxic. You can tell the both of them are a bit much. You know, this my man, my man, my man, my man, my man concept thing that she got going on in her mental, and the fact that he's up here shooting birdies. I mean, it's written all over his face that I am a man child, okay? That I am not masculine, I'm not mature, I'm just a boy who likes to play games, who thinks that I am above and beyond the concept of being a real man to a woman. You can look at you can look at this whole situation and can just tell this was a recipe for disaster. You can tell she worships the ground this man walks on. She loves the fact that he's shooting birdies and acting like a clown, because she's toxic herself. So no wonder this relationship um didn't stand a chance of anything um growing from it. Really, there was no progress in none of this due to the fact that she's a girl and he's a boy. I don't see no maturity on neither one of them just by the small clip. Anytime I see a male shooting birdies and throwing up gang signs and stuff like that, that's automatically a turn off for me because it shows me his lack of immaturity, especially if he's in the same photo with his woman. So she definitely lost her life over a nobody. This dude is straight man child. And it's quite embarrassing. And as time goes on, as she's doing time in prison, she's really going to look back and hate herself for even allowing somebody as low on his level to make her lose everything she possibly could have built for herself. But we'll continue. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate it.
Boyfriend sleeps when he finally found his soulmate with the...
Look, who records a video of foam coming out their man mouth? This is disgusting. How my boyfriend sleeps when he finally found his soulmate with the gorilla grip and heated indoor water park. See, you putting the pieces together that the elevator don't go all the way up, all right? She's one fry away from a Happy Meal. She's 2 sandwiches short from a picnic. This chick was way too overly obsessed with this man.
Gorilla grip and heated indoor water park.
See how she was hugging on him? Now she's hugging on him from the back. This girl is way too infatuated. Listen, if you have a daughter or a niece and you see her this man struck over a dude, I mean, take her to see a therapist, send her to church to pray that spirit off of her, because that is dangerous. That's not healthy.
Both women would end up crossing each other's path with the help of Terry. Days before this incident that happened on July 13th, Terry and Sakina had flown down to Miami to party. They did party, and during this time Terry engaged with Kayla, which Sakina found out about somehow. Out of anger and jealousy, Sakina, who had put a tracker in Terry's Range Rover, tracked his car, which was at Kayla's house. When she finally found her way to the apartment after Terry left, she did the unthinkable to Kayla. She stabbed her and cut her from ear to ear. Sakina was said to have linked up with Terry later in the day. Then they both flew back to New York the same day she committed that crime. Someone would call the police to report the crime after seeing Kayla's lifeless body.
All right, y'all. So that just was to give y'all the main logistics of the situation and how it all unfolded, y'all. So let's kind of go into the sermon that's behind this lesson. So what is it can we learn from this, right? That is the main question. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot we can learn from it, and that's why I'm getting ready to go into it now. So just to kind of give y'all a quick rundown again of the situation, because I know it was so many different clips and stuff. Sakina, 31-year-old woman, has been convicted of first-degree murder for the killing of for the unaliving of Kayla Hodgson, 23, in Tamarack, Florida, back in July 22. So this was like 2 years ago, y'all. The motive appears to be jealousy stemming from Thompson's ex-boyfriend's relationship with Hodgson. The jury ruled on Tuesday that Thompson killed her ex's new girlfriend because the other girl had blocked her on social media. So as I stated, the young lady was trying to be a woman about it and not even get involved, and she had blocked her. But of course, when you're dealing with an obsessed, dick crazed chick, they're not gonna let up that easy. Okay, so Sakina was determined she was gonna get a hold of this woman one way or another, right? At the time of the incident, Thompson was 2 months pregnant. She testified that she had blacked out when the incident happened. When she gained consciousness, she realized that she had unalived her. I was walking in the blood, Thompson said in court in Fort Lauderdale, further adding that it was an act of self-defense. I unalived her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach. I felt she was trying to hurt my baby. Meanwhile, the prosecution argued that the act was premeditated as jealousy and insecure. As per reports, Thompson changed into Hodgson's clothes, attempted to clean the scene, and discarded evidence. She was arrested in New York and extradited to Florida. She now faces life behind bars. And she actually did get life behind bars, okay? And Sakina even admitted during her own testimony that she was jealous and she was insecure. She said it out of her own mouth. That she had insecurity issues, and really insecurity meaning that she loved that man more than she loved herself. And once she saw how beautiful and stunning Kayla was, that really set her off, okay? Because basically, and it's sad that you have some women that think like this, but they only find their worth through a man. Like, in other words, if a man loves them, then they love themselves. If a man praises them, then they have confidence in themselves. So, in other words, you have some women, the only way they can find real worth is a man has to validate it. And Sakina strikes me as that type of female. The only time she really feels like she's worth something or about something, she needed that ego boost from her man. And that's dangerous when a woman can only find worth and happiness through another man telling her how beautiful she looks. You can just tell she was overly infatuated with him. Her world centered around him. Okay, this is like giving me Ariana Airhead vibes, where you got to highlight every little thing this man does and stuff, because again, you can only find love in yourself through him loving you, even if it's fake love, even if he's pretending. Long as he's acting like he loves you, then you feel loved. And it's sad that you have a lot of women with this mindset. Okay, so when jealousy turns deadly, all right, this is the unhinged series of the Sakina Thompson story. So she didn't lose to another man, she lost to her emotions. I mean, she didn't lose to another woman, she lost to her emotions. Blocked online, broken in spirit, bound by consequences. When jealousy becomes your GPS, destruction is your destination. All right. So, tonight's story isn't about love. It's about the illusion of it. A woman from Queens, New York flew all the way to Florida pregnant just to confront her ex's new girlfriend. And when she couldn't handle rejection, the confrontation ended in tragedy. The jury found her guilty of first-degree murder, but before that verdict ever came, her emotions had already sentenced her. This isn't a story to gossip about. It's a warning to every woman who's ever felt unseen, replaced, or rejected. So when she entered this woman's apartment, first of all, like I said, anytime a woman confronts you about her man, don't meet each other. Don't do no pull-ups. There's no, we need to talk in person. Whatever y'all need to discuss, it needs to be discussed over the phone, and that's it. Okay? That's never safe, because some of these chicks are unhinged, and you thinking it's just going to be a typical, okay, we're going to have our exchange of words. When they were in that woman's apartment, I'm sure Sakina probably started off like she was going to be a woman about it and just wanted to have a conversation. And what I think, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, what I think happened was, as that conversation went on, Sakina was not getting the response she wanted. You know what I mean? I think she was hoping that had she confronted, once she had spoken with Kayla, that Kayla would be like, okay, well, I'm not going to see him anymore. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to end things. I'm going to break things up. I think she got the complete opposite of that. And I think that's what infuriated her. I think Kayla was probably one of them women like, okay, well, thank you for telling me. I'm glad we had this conversation, but that got nothing to do with me and him. I'm gonna continue to see him. He's cool with me. I mean, I don't know what's going on with y'all. I think Kayla did the complete opposite of what she expected, and it made her snap. If y'all agree, press 1. If y'all think it didn't go that way, press 2. But this is just my hypothetical visual of what I think happened. Okay, she snapped. And let's face it, some of these women, they could be real brutal. You know, she probably met a challenge. Yeah, I'm effing your man, and I'm going to keep effing him. Matter of fact, I'm going to eff him tonight. Matter of fact, I effed him last night. Listen, these females, they brutal, bro. That's why I listen. If you ain't really ready, don't go confront another woman about your man, because she may tell you some stuff you ain't nowhere near ready to hear. You think you about that smoke, you think you about that life, and when these females, a lot of these females are already bitter and broken, so even if it ain't happen like that, they'll make you think it happened like that, because just the fact that you asking them questions, that let a woman know you insecure. Because the first thing a female is thinking is, you asking me questions instead of asking your man, that means you don't trust your man. That's why you come to me. And some women gonna play off of that. They gonna make it sound deeper than what it was. Yeah, he been over here every night. Knowing he ain't been over there no every night. That was a one-time thing. Yeah, he said he loved me, he want to be with me. He ain't say all that. You know what I mean? But when you let another woman know that you have a lot of insecurities in your relationship, they capitalize off of that. They take advantage of it. You know what I mean? The best thing to do if you're in a situation like that, for one, you just deal with that man. Okay? 1 or 2, you got a decision you got to make. Let him cheat in peace, or you in a relationship. There's no need cussing him out, you know, and putting him out your house, throwing his clothes over the balcony for all your neighbors and everybody to see, only for you to let him back in 2 days later. I mean, why take yourself through all of that? You know what I mean? Either regain your peace by letting him go, or let him cheat in peace. Either way, you got to make a decision. The other woman has nothing to do with, you know what I mean? Like, if the other woman's disrespectful towards you, now you got a reason to go check for her. But even the way that goes is that she never would have had a position had your man never would have violated. You know, as women, we automatically want to approach the other woman. But the truth of the matter is, it was your man who violated you. That is who you need to deal with, okay? Only time you have any dealings with her is when she comes for you directly and first, okay? Other than that, you got to deal with your man. That's the one who owes you loyalty. That's the one that owes you the respect, all right? So let's start with some of these points that I feel needs to be addressed, right? Let's start with the social media setup, okay? She wasn't angry because she lost a man. She was angry because she lost access. When the new woman blocked her, it cut her ability to watch, compare, and control the narrative, okay? But let's be real. How many women have sat on social media scrolling through a man's new life, torturing themselves with what they see? The real enemy isn't her. It's the obsession with validation. Guarantee you, Sakina had been crawling all over that girl's Instagram page like the roach that she is. Okay? This was the size up her competition and figure out what is it about her where he chose her over me. Okay? So that was the first thing. You know what I mean? When you're more focused on who he's with than who you're becoming, jealousy becomes your mirror and all you see is what you're missing. And keep in mind, she was already obsessed with the man. So she's going to become even more obsessed with the man and his new woman. Okay. And this is what happens when you make your world revolve around a man. Anytime he disattaches himself away from you and reattaches with someone else, now you also become over infatuated with their world, meaning now you're overly investigating into the new woman that he's with. Now you're attaching yourself to who she is and what she has going on, and that is where the obsession comes in at. And that's exactly what happened with Sakina. She was so obsessed with the man, so she automatically became obsessed with the new woman, okay? Dangerous, might I add. Next, the danger of emotional blackouts. Okay, she claims she blacked out, right? And make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all have not already. please, please hit the like button. I love when my likes match up with my views. So if y'all can do that at this one point in time, I would appreciate it. I'll give y'all a few seconds to get the likes up. Before I continue, I just want to make sure we get the likes up. All right, appreciate that. Thank you. So let's get to the next point. The danger of emotional blackouts. She claims she blacked out, but the blackout didn't start in Florida, y'all. No, it did not. It started long before that, in the moments she refused to heal. Every time she ignored her anger, fed her resentment, and replayed rejection in her mind, she was building up a spiritual eruption. Uncontrolled emotion is a loaded weapon, y'all. And when you don't learn to master your triggers will master you. Listen, like I teach my participants in my class, your triggers are your teachers. Okay? Your triggers are your teachers. If you're feeling some type of way, if you notice certain things really make you angry, this is where you have to start doing that self-reflection. What's making me angry? What's making me jealous? Is it because he keeps doing things that he knows will make me jealous, or he knows I'm insecure? This is the time where you have to really start doing some emotional dissecting within yourself, because once you ignore your own anger, sooner than later, your anger gets the best of you. And that's exactly what happened in this case. Moves me to point number 3, red flags in ourselves. The story isn't just about spotting toxic men. It's about spotting toxic emotions within yourselves, okay? When rejection feels unbearable, you've tied your worth to someone else's validation. I told y'all that before. A lot of women don't feel like they are real women unless they're getting real love. Okay, a woman cannot feel whole unless a man is constantly reassuring her that she's beautiful, reassuring her that she's the best thing that ever happened to him. And the moment you're no longer getting that validation, now you're feeling defeated, you're feeling worthless. When you obsess over another woman, you're fighting for an image, not a person, okay? When you justify emotional instability with pregnancy, stress, or love, love doesn't excuse chaos. It exposes the need for healing. Okay. So the truth is, some women don't even need to be in a relationship, and you may very well be that type of woman. You're not good with a relationship. Let's face it, some women are not good with a man. Because if that man does not want them, they want to take their lives, they want to jump off a bridge, they want to hurt their own children. You'll be surprised the extreme levels of endangerment a woman puts herself in psychologically, mentally, and emotionally when she's feeling defeated, like she really has nothing else but him, but that man, to make her feel whole, to make her feel valued, to make her feel like she has a purpose. It's very dangerous if you got toxic emotions and you don't have a grip on how you manage those emotions. If you're not good with emotions, I don't recommend you getting in a relationship with nobody. Next, you can't win when your goal is revenge, okay? You don't heal by hurting the person who replaced you. Jealousy doesn't make you passionate, it makes you paranoid. Control disguised as closure will always destroy something, usually you. This is what you need to be focused on. Block him instead of stalking her. Okay, that's what she should have been doing. Once she saw that this dude made up his mind that he was going to be with this other woman, this is the time in which you got to protect yourself. Listen, when Melody saw that Martell was determined to still sneak and creep with Ariana air mattress, she saved herself the burden by removing herself from the situation. She didn't continue to keep going back and forth with Ariana. She didn't continue to keep fighting for Martell's love, getting surgery, getting more makeup, doing all these things that make herself look younger so Martell will want her more. You'll be surprised how women will change the man, will change everything before they change the man. Why do you think you got women around here getting BBLs? Why do you think women around here getting all kind of work done to their bodies and stuff? Why do you think women around here still in relationships or marriages that are an embarrassment or a humiliation to them? And we ain't talking about mistakes that have been made and everybody has moved forward. There's no more extra public humiliation to bring any further embarrassment than what has already taken place. You have women there would change everything except the man. The whole bottom line is the man does not value you, and you have to respect that. You're looking at how he values the woman, the other woman. Look at the fact that he doesn't value you. If you feel triggered, take a digital detox, not a flight. Once she started going on this woman's pages and seeing this woman posting stuff about her man that she still felt like was hers and stuff like that, it's not so. Social media is very deadly. If you are not strong enough to be able to get on social media without lurking another woman's page, DMing her and all of that to where you catching flights, you don't even need a social media account. Sometimes, as hard as it is, you need to log out at least for a couple of weeks until you can reprogram yourself mentally to be able to sustain whatever things that you're seeing that's not settling well with your spirit, and things that are definitely making you question your integrity. If you are not woman enough to be able to have a social media account without stalking another woman on it, you don't need to have a social media account. Get rid of it. Close your account until you get some more maturity within yourself as a woman. Choose therapy, journaling, prayer, or distance over confrontation. I can't speak for other women, but I know when things become too overwhelming for me, I definitely have to back up. I have to back up versus forcing it. It takes too much energy. It takes too much time. And some demonic forces are just way too strong for you to try to conquer. You have to pick your battles wisely. And in this case, she should already known she was nowhere near strong enough to approach that woman, because the moment you even find out your man, who's not even your man anymore, but you find out he's cheating, the last thing you need is for somebody to say something wrong out the mouth to you when you were already in your feelings. I guarantee you, when her and Kayla talked, Kayla probably got very spiffy with her and told her some things she didn't want to hear. Listen, don't confront the other woman if you're not ready to really hear what they got to say, because listen, some of these women are brutal. They're not going to let you down easy. Some women be like, girl, you know what? I'm not going to lie. Me and Terry was seeing each other, but I don't want no problems. So listen, because me being a woman, understand how it feels to get your heart broken. I'm not even going to deal with him, even though I know he wants to deal with me. But because I understand how you feel about him, I'm not even going to get involved. So you ain't even got to worry about it. You got my word. If he calls me, I'm not dealing with him. That's one in many. But then there are others. Oh, well, I don't know what you want me to do, sis. I'm feeling him. He's feeling me. And he got that good wood. I'm not going to stop getting that good wood. Are you ready to hear another woman tell you how good that wood is? Are you really ready for a woman to be on some, oh, I'm not leaving him, boo-boo. I'm not, no, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up that good package, okay? Are you ready for that? Why you thinking you going to this woman's house and you going to put her in her place and let her know to get away from your man or whatever? She may have a totally different mindset. Like, I'm still feeling him and I'm still going to F him. Like, you got to be ready for that. Okay? This is where you have to really diagnose your own mindset. You know what I mean? And again, this is the other point I want to make. Why behind women crashing out over a man who's already moved on? Why, what is it about women that makes them crash out? Okay, I want to give y'all a couple of more points for that, and then I'll be wrapping it up momentarily. Okay, they confuse rejection with unworthiness. When he leaves, it doesn't just bruise her ego, it shatters her identity. And I told y'all this before. She starts asking, what does she have that I don't? Instead of asking, what does God want to heal in me? When your self-worth is built on someone's attention, their absence feels like proof that you're not enough. Okay? Next, she made him her purpose. Instead of having her own goals, peace, and direction, her life revolved around him. Where he was, what he was doing, who he was texting. When he left, her entire reason for being left too. When you make a man your mission, ladies, losing him feels like losing oxygen. Arion. Also, why women crash out, she's addicted to drama. Some women confuse emotional chaos with passion. They crave that intensity, the arguments, the makeup, the chase, because peace feels boring when you've lived in dysfunction too long. She doesn't know how to live without adrenaline, so she calls it love. Next, her ego can't handle replacement. It's not even about love. It's about losing first place. When another woman shows up, he looks happy. She doesn't see love. She sees defeat. Some women don't want the man back. They just don't want to see him happy without them. And that's another reality that a lot of women cannot stomach. You know what I mean? They know the man ain't good for them, but they're afraid that the man going to do better with someone else. You know what I mean? And sometimes it happens. Sometimes it could be an ain't shit dude with you and then get with the next woman and be the Dom Perignon. It happens, right? You probably ended up getting the better half of another man, while another woman, before that man got with you, she had to deal with the bull crap. She had to deal with the crumbs, while you ended up with the loaf. So it goes hands in hands, right? Yeah, he may be your wonderful husband, but you don't know what other woman before you probably ended up getting the little bit of crumbs that was left to the bottom of the bag, and you ended up with the full bag. So it goes both ways, right? Next, she romanticized a toxic relationship. Hit that like button, y'all, if y'all have not already. Let me see how much time I'm going into this, y'all. Because I try not to keep it too long. Okay, so, okay, look like timing is not too bad. Okay, but I want to kind of make sure. Okay, all right, so let me get back into my points right quick, y'all, and then we'll be coming on up out of here. Okay. So, she romanticized a toxic relationship. She focused on a few good things and ignored the pain. So when he moved on, she wasn't mourning the reality. She was mourning the fantasy she built in her head. She's grieving the version of him she made up, not the one she actually had. So again, this is where a woman is holding on to those little bit of crumbs and overlooking all the other chaos that was way more major. Next, she never healed her abandonment wounds. Rejection brings up childhood pain, being ignored, unseen, or replaced. Now every breakup feels like I'm not lovable. Unhealed trauma turns every goodbye into a personal attack. So if you're a woman who's dealt with abandonment issues, your dad left you or other men who have left you, the moment any man walks from you, it's automatically taking an emotional toll on you because you have abandonment issues. Next, she invested too much. She poured money, time, energy, maybe even covered bills, so she feels entitled to a return. She doesn't want closure. She wants compensation. When a woman feels used or replaced after sacrificing everything, the rage is fueled by feeling robbed. And that happens when you gave a man time, energy, effort, you gave him children and all of that. That can very well make you feel like you've been bamboozled. And to only imagine, not only Sakinia had a child by this man while she was in prison, she had a child. And he still moved on with another woman and then asked to father her child. She's going to have to hear about this man, move on, get married, have more children. He's not going to continue to not pull a knife out her back, okay? Next, she's afraid of starting over. And this is a big thing. Even when she knows he's toxic, she stays because the unknown feels scarier than the dysfunction she's used to. Some women would rather suffer familiar pain than face unfamiliar peace. And this is definitely a major, major, major thing that a lot of women have unfortunately succumb to, is just learning to tolerate the familiar, even if it's toxic, because they fear moving on and starting over. They fear the unknown. You know what I mean? Not knowing that that unknown could be the very thing that can better their life. So she just learns to just kind of tolerate whatever she's dealing with. Next, she's competing with his new woman. Instead of moving on, she turns her ex's new girlfriend into an opponent. Social media makes it worse. Every photo, every post feels like a jab. She stopped trying to heal and started trying to win. Next, she doesn't know who she is without him. She attached her identity to his girlfriend, his baby mama, his ride or die. When that title disappears, she doesn't know her own reflection. When a woman hasn't built her own life, she'll burn someone else's down to feel relevant. Absolutely, y'all. And we are almost out of here. Next is she doesn't know who she is without him. And I mentioned this before. She attached her identity to his girlfriend, his baby mama, his ride or die, okay? Yeah, my bad. I made that point already. I had to write all this stuff down, y'all. Next one is she mistakes possession for love. Possession for love. She doesn't love him. She wants to own him. If she can't have him, no one can. That's not love. That's emotional slavery. A healthy woman says, if you're not happy with me, go in peace. A broken one says, if you leave me, I'll make you regret it. Next, she learned to sit with pain. Instead of processing heartbreak, she tries to escape it through rage, revenge, or impulsive acts. The pain she never faced became the monster she couldn't control. Lastly, she thinks losing him means losing her power because she only felt powerful when she felt desired. She can't process being ignored. If your confidence only works when someone wants you, it was never confidence, it was validation. Now, y'all, I dropped many gems tonight. Please go ahead and hit that like button. One more scripture for the road, y'all. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5 through 6. Curse is the one who trusts in man, whose heart turns away from the Lord. When your faith is in a man, not in God, his absence will always feel like punishment. But when your faith is rooted in purpose, his rejection becomes protection, y'all. Sis, when a man walks away, don't chase the closure, okay? Chase your healing. Don't turn heartbreak into handcuffs. No one is worth your freedom, your future, or your femininity, okay? Heal so deeply that peace becomes your new addiction, all right? So, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this. The fact that she made this dusty decision when her love for him became a lifetime sentence for her. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think Kayla probably said something, and not that this justifies her death, her being unalive, because it does not. But do you think that when Shekinah confronted Kayla, she didn't get the response she thought and it triggered her? Okay. The fact that she had a child from this man, she's still going to be hearing about him and his new life. What do you think about that? Okay. Also, have you been in this situation before where you just wanted closure from a man and it just came off as you being this crazy chick? Not because you was really crazy. You just wanted to know, why would you do that? Why would you leave things hanging, leave me hanging like that? Let me know. I definitely would like to know. I think it's all a learning lesson. This is no judgment zone. Anyway, y'all, I've kept y'all long enough. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Please, before you leave, go ahead and hit that like button. By the way, anything I said in this content tonight was for educational and entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged, nevertheless, and y'all have a good one. And again, toast to growth, ladies, and welcome to the lounge. And I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Be blessed.